the oxygen and its family. So in the oxygen family, it is also called the 16 group or 6A group. Okay, it is called the chalcogens. Chalcogens means these are ore forming. You must remember this one. Maximum ore belongs to the oxide or they form to the sulfide. Actually NCERT given the brass and sulfur, they react together, that is called the chalcos, but generally means these are the ore forming, that's why it is also called the chalcogens. Okay, what are the members? Oxygen, sulfur, selenium, tellurium and polonium. I have already told you how to remember this one. Old style say TPO. Okay, in this one oxygen and sulfur are the non-metal, sulfur and selenium and tellurium are the semi-metal, polonium is the radioactive metal. Okay, in these one only oxygen is the gas, remaining all are the solid, as sulfur exists in the form of the acid solid. Okay, so except the oxygen all other are the present in the solid state. Oxygen is the most abundant element of this family also, as well as it is the most abundant element present in the earth crust. The percentage of the oxygen is almost 46.6% in the earth crust, and it is also present in the sufficient amount in the air. It is 21%, almost 20% by volume in the air. Sulfur, it is present in the earth crust in the less amount, 0.03 to 0.01 in the earth crust. It mainly occurs in the form of the ore, that may be the CaSO4.10H2O, you know this is called the gypsum, MgSO4.7H2O, Epsom salt, TBS, Glena and ZNS, zinc sulfide. Okay, then it is also obtained, this is also present in the eggs, proteins, garlic, onion, ginger, etc. Okay, so these are also present. It is also present, sulfur is also present in the bull, in the hairs. Okay, it is also present. Selenium and tellurium present in the sulfide ore. Whenever we have the sulfide ore, in those sulfide ore, a small amount of the selenium and tellurium also present. Electronic configuration is the NH2 and P4. They have the 4 electron in the P. If we remove 1 electron from the P, that become more stable. So that's why their ionization energy is comparatively less than the compared to the nitrogen family. What is their electronic configuration? Oxygen and sulfur has only S and P electron. Okay, in the sulfur d orbital is vacant. Selenium and tellurium has the S electron also, P electron also and D electron also. Polonium has the S electron also, P also, D also and F also. Atomic radius down the group, atomic radius always increases. Okay, ionization enthalpy down the group, electronegativity decreases. Okay, and non-metal convert into the metal. Non-metal want to gain the electron, non-metal want to lose the electron. So down the group we have the more electropositive metal, they want to lose the electron very easily, hence the ionization enthalpy down the group decreases. Electron gain enthalpy down the group, again electron gain enthalpy is mainly the property of the non-metal. Non-metal want to gain electron, metal don't want to gain the electron, so electron gain enthalpy decreases. Okay, down the group, but this exception you already know, sulfur has the more electron gain enthalpy as compared to the oxygen, like phosphorus has the more electron gain enthalpy as compared to the nitrogen, and chlorine has the most electron gain enthalpy as compared to the fluorine. Okay, electronegativity decreases down the group. Melting point and boiling point, it increases. Why? Because oxygen is the gas, melting point and boiling point of the gas is very less, and down the group they become the solid, and solid has the higher melting point and higher boiling point. Then melting point and boiling point down the group always increases, but exception we have, tellurium has the more melting point and boiling point than the polonium, because polonium is the radioactive element, it is unstable in nature. Oxidation state, chemical reactivity, oxygen can give the oxidation number from the minus to the +2. Okay, it can give -2 also, -1 also, 0 also, +1 also, +2 also, and in the superoxide it can also give the -half. These are the only oxidation number possible for the oxygen. Sulfur, selenium and tellurium, they can give the -2 oxidation number, +2, +4, +6. But down the group, +2, -2 become unstable. Instability increases, stability decreases. Why it is so? Because -2 oxidation number means tendency to gain the electron. Non-metal want to gain the electron, but down the group metallic character increases, so they don't want to accept the electron. So that's why -2 oxidation number become the less stable. And polonium only show the +2 and +4. It cannot show the +6. Why? Because down the group the tendency to give the higher oxidation number, +4 decreases, +6 decreases down the group. Now next part we have the reaction with the hydrogen. When they react with the hydrogen, what are the compound they give? H2O, H2S, H2TE, H2SE, H2SE and H2TE. Okay, when we move down the group, bond length increases. Obviously it is very easy. Oxygen has the smaller orbital. Smaller orbital provide the means smaller bond length. Tellurium has the big orbital. Big orbital provide the big bond length. So bond length increases, bond angle decreases, as we have in case of the nitrogen family. Okay, bond length decreases. We can also apply the Drago's rule here. Heat of formation. Whenever the H2O is formed, system will stabilize itself, so energy release. Okay, because bond are stronger. But whenever the H2T is obtained, okay, orbital sizes differ a lot. They do not have the effective overlapping. So due to that, what happens? Always they absorb the energy, not release the energy. So oxygen release the energy, exothermic process. H2TE absorb the energy, endothermic process. So what happens? Heat of formation increases. In the NO we have the good overlapping, more energy required to break the bond. But in the H2TE, less overlapping, they require the less energy to break the bond. So that's why bond energy decreases. H2O has the more bond. When we move toward the H2TE, bond energy always decreases. Melting point and boiling point increases. Obviously metallic character increases, mass increases. If mass increases, van der Waals force of attraction increases. So down the group, H2TE up to the H2TE, melting point increases. But what the exception we have? H2O always have the maximum value. Why the H2O has the maximum value? Because it can show the hydrogen bonding. Then reaction with the oxygen. Reaction with the oxygen, they give two type of oxide, SO2 and SO3 type oxide. Okay, but SO2 is the less acidic, SO3 is the more acidic. What is the reason? Higher is the oxidation number, higher is the acidic strength. Okay, so these can form the oxide like E2O, SO2 type, and EO3 like SO3 type. Higher the oxidation number, higher is the acidic strength. But down the group, acidic character increases and basic acidic character decreases. Basic character increases again because non-metal are acidic, metals are the metal oxide are the basic. In this one thing is more. When we are moving from the H2O to the H2TE, their acidic nature always increases. H2S is more acidic than the H2O. H2 acidic is more acidic than the H2SE. H2TE is more acidic than the H2SE. Like HI is more acidic than the HBr. HBr is more acidic than the HCl. HCl is more acidic than the HF. Similar order we also have here. Then halogen. With the halogen, it can form three type of the halide: EX2, EX4 and EX6. EX2 like sulfur trichloride, HCl2, EX4, SF4. You know the shape of the molecule is the seesaw. We always discuss SF4 in the Vesper theory. Then EX6 like SF6. Okay, then stability of these halogens maximum with the fluorine, chlorine, bromine and iodine. Okay, like you must remember this one. Oxygen can react with the fluorine but cannot react with the chlorine. With the fluorine, oxygen is stable. With all other halogen, it is unstable. Okay, in the hexahalide, only hexahalide of the fluoride is stable. Okay, now you think this structure SF6 octahedral, it is sulfur is surrounded by the 6 fluorine. and every fluorine has the say 3 lone pair. So if one fluorine has the 3 lone pair, 6 fluorine will have the how many? 18 lone pair. So here fluorine has the smaller size, okay, and lone pair are also very small, so they do not cause the repulsion. But now think about the Si6. Si6 also has the 18 electron pair, but these 18 electron pair are so big in nature, and due to the bigger size they always have the more repulsion. So what happens? Iodine hexafluoride, iodine hexahalide become unstable, and fluorine hexahalide is relatively more stable. So that's why this point is there. In the hexahalide only hexafluoride are stable. Hexachloride, hexabromide and hexaiodide are relatively unstable. They can also form the dimeric halide, like 1SF, they bond together to give S2F2. Okay, they give the compound like S2F2, Se2Cl2 and S2Cl2, and these compounds are known to undergoes the disproportionation reaction. Like if we have the Se2Cl2, it disproportionate to give SeCl4 and 3 selenium, means from the +1 it convert into the +4 and 0. Then next we have the dioxygen. Dioxygen is the O2, and it is, means we can say it is the live air. Okay, what is the most easy means we can say what is the commercial method of preparation or most easy method of preparation? Separation from air. Okay, air contain almost 21% of the oxygen. So what we can do, we can separate the oxygen from the air. How? We have the difference in the boiling point of the oxygen and the nitrogen. Oxygen boiling point is about 80 Kelvin and nitrogen is about 71 Kelvin. So when we liquefy the air, okay, then first oxygen become the liquid, and we separate this oxygen as a liquid that leave behind the nitrogen. So by the same liquefaction and fractional distillation method, we can have the oxygen also and nitrogen also, as I have told you in the last one. Remaining method of preparation, we can heat the KClO3. You remember 2 KClO3 on the heating provide the 2 KCl plus O2. Ag2O and Hg2O, these are the oxide, those are present at the higher position in the Elingham diagram. Their delta G formation is the positive, means oxide are the unstable and they can be easily broken into the oxygen. Like 4Ag2O on the heating, they provide the 4Ag plus O2. Okay, 2HgO on the heating, they provide the Hg plus O2. Pv3O4, if you heat the Pv3O2 in Pv3O4, what they give? PVO and O2. Similarly PvO2, okay, what it give? It again give the PV and O2. H2O2, you know this one, H2O2 is not the stable liquid, it dissociate into the H2O, water and oxygen gas. 2H2O2 provide the 2H2O plus O2, so it can also give the oxygen gas. Then next, air I have already explained you. Okay, what are the property? It is the colorless, odorless, paramagnetic gas. Paramagnetism is not explained by the BBT theory. Paramagnetism is explained by the MOT theory. It directly combined with the metal and the non-metal. Look, every metal is surrounded by the oxygen, and oxygen is the second higher most electronegative element. It has the tendency to accept the electron. So metal lose the electron, oxygen gain the electron. So that's why they undergoes the means rusting reaction, or we can say corrosion reaction. So metal easily combined with the oxygen, but not only metal, even the non-metal easily combined with the oxygen, because oxygen is the highly reactive gas and it is sufficient electronegative to accept the electron from any non-metal. So carbon CO2 can form, sulfur SO2 is formed, chlorine Cl2O7 is formed. So it combined with the all the almost metal except some noble metals like Au, Pt, etc., and non-metals, means except some inert gas. Okay, and what are the uses of the oxygen? Oxygen is used for the combustion purpose. Whenever we are burning the fuel, okay, that is the combustion reaction. So to burn that one, what we require? We require the oxygen gas. Oxyacetylene welding, this welding I have already told you. Okay, this is also called in the common language gas welding. Okay, we have one container of the oxygen, in the second container we have the acetylene gas. By the application of burning of the acetylene, we can join the two metal piece. So that's why it is called the oxyacetylene welding. Oxygen cylinder for the medical purpose. Okay, in the hospital we also use the oxygen cylinder which provide the oxygen for the patient and fuel. Okay, when we have the rocket fuel, okay, or any fuel for the burning, what it required? It required the oxygen. So rocket fuel also means require the oxidizer, and oxygen is one of the best oxidizer used for the rocket fuel or any other fuel. Then whenever oxygen react with the metals or with the non-metal, it is called the oxide. But when it react with the oxygen, okay, when it react with the fluorine and oxygen, not called the oxide, it is called the fluoride. But all other element when react with the oxygen, it is simply called the oxide. It form the four type of oxide. Metal oxide, basic in nature, you know, Na2O, CaO, okay, K2O, these are dissolving in the water to give the base. So metallic oxide, alkali metal oxide, okay, alkaline earth metal oxide, these are acidic in nature. Non-metal oxide like SO2, N2O5, Cl2O7, when they dissolve in the water, they give the acid, like H2SO4, HNO3, HClO4. Okay, so non-metallic oxide, acidic in nature. Some element, those are in between the metal and non-metal, like Al2O3, they are amphoteric. ZNO, amphoteric, they react with the acid, they react with the base. Few gases like NO, nitrogen monoxide, also called the nitric oxide, carbon monoxide, and N2O, it is called the nitrous oxide or dinitrogen oxide. These are the gases, those are neutral in nature. Only few gases are neutral in nature, and these are the three gases, those are neutral in nature. Then ozone, how the ozone is formed? At the top layer of the surrounding atmosphere we have the stratosphere. In the stratosphere we have the sufficient concentration of the ultraviolet rays. Under such condition, oxygen molecule combine together to give the O3, and this dense layer of the ozone above the means our at the top part of our atmosphere, that protect the human life and life of the other animal and plants by the ultraviolet, harmful ultraviolet of the radiation by the sun. Okay, it is very important to preserve, to sustain the ozone layer on the earth, because it always protected from the harmful radiation of the ultraviolet, those are coming from the sun. But thermodynamically it is unstable. Three molecule convert into the two molecule, to entropy decreases, and oxygen is more stable, ozone is unstable, so it is the endothermic process. Delta S is negative, delta H is positive, then delta G is also positive. So chemically, or you can say thermally, it is unstable in nature. Okay, so readily this O3 dissociate again to give the O2 and the nascent oxygen. Ozone at the surrounding, ozone at the room temperature is not stable in nature. It readily dissociate to give the O2 and the nascent oxygen. Due to the nascent oxygen it gives, it is the oxidizing in nature. It donate the oxygen very easily. So that's why it is used for the bleaching. I have told you several type of bleaching. Ozone bleaching can be used for the food product. It can be used for the fibers, cotton fibers or paper fibers. We can use the oxygen ozone bleaching. H2O2 is also the bleaching agent. Again I told you, it also release the nascent oxygen. Nascent oxygen is the bleaching agent. Okay, this is the structure of the ozone. Okay, if we write the semi-polar structure, then middle oxygen will have the formal charge +1, this side one oxygen has the formal charge -1, and this oxygen has the charge 0. Look, next we have the sulfur. At the room temperature, sulfur mainly exists in the two form: yellow sulfur, alpha sulfur or rhombic sulfur, and another form is the beta monoclinic sulfur. In both the state, chair-like conformer of the S6 or crown-like conformer of the acid exist. Okay, alpha sulfur, rhombic sulfur at the higher temperature more than 369 Kelvin, it is converted into the monoclinic sulfur or beta sulfur. Okay, next is the SO2. SO2 is obtained by the burning of the sulfur. Burning of the sulfur mainly give the SO2. Only 6 to 8% SO3 is present in the burning of the sulfur, means mainly sulfur on the burning give the SO2, not the SO3. Okay, what is the other method? Sulfide ore, okay, or sulfide. Sulfide, when react with the water or any acid, what they give? They give the H2SO3, sulfurous acid. Sulfurous acid is similar to the carbonic acid, H2CO3. H2CO3 is unstable, that give the H2O and CO2. Similarly, H2SO3 is also unstable, that give the H2O and SO2. Okay, what is the other method of preparation? You remember the roasting of the sulfide ore. Roasting of the sulfide ore, what that give? That give the metal oxide and SO2 gas. So by the roasting of the sulfide ore, we can also have the SO2. SO2 is the colorless, pungent smell gas soluble in the water. When it dissolve in the water, H2O plus SO2 give the H2SO3 sulfurous acid. This SO2 is the acidic in nature, so acidic gas can react with the base. So whenever they react together, what they have the acid base nucleation reaction that give the Na2SO3 plus H2O. Okay, SO2 plus half Cl2, this is the burning reaction. Okay, SO2 can burn further to give the SO3. Okay, next, sulfur can also react with the chlorine. It can give the S2Cl2. Okay, I have told you the dimeric form. It can give the monochloride, it can give the dichloride, tetra, and hexa is generally formed with the fluorine, not with the chlorine. Okay, next we have the different oxo acid, oxy acid. What are the oxy acid? Like sulfurous acid, H2SO3, sulfuric acid, H2SO4, Marshall acid, H2S2O8, and Carrot's acid, H2S2O5, and oleum, H2S2O7. Okay, sulfurous acid, sulfuric acid, peroxydisulfuric acid, peroxysulfuric acid, and pyrosulfuric acid. Okay, H2SO4 is called the king of the chemical. Why it is called the king of the chemical? It is the most commonly used chemical in the industry as well as in the lab. The growth of the country sometime calculated in terms of the how much H2SO4 country use for the development purpose or for the industrial purpose. If a country use the more H2SO4, means it is the more developed country. If it is use the less H2SO4, means it is not the developed country, it is the developing country or underdevelopment country. Okay, so look how we can form this king of the chemicals. It is formed by the contact process. What is the contact process? Sulfur burn with the oxygen to give the SO2. That SO2 further oxidize with the ozone, with the O2 in the presence of the vanadium pentaoxide catalyst to give the SO3. This SO3 dissolve in the H2SO4. This SO3 gets dissolved in the H2SO4 to give the oleum. Oleum is the H2S2O7. Okay, with the formula H2S2O7, and common name is the pyrosulfuric acid. Whenever we want to have the H2SO4, what we do? We take the oleum, and in the oleum we add the calculated amount of the H2SO4. So what is the reaction? H2S2O7 plus H2O give the 2 moles of the H2SO4. Okay, it is the colorless, oily liquid, highly dense in nature, highly viscous in nature. Okay, and what the care we have to take in? H2SO4 should be added in the H2O. Okay, we cannot add the water in the H2SO4. What we have to do? We have to add the H2SO4 in the water, because whenever we add the water in the H2SO4, process is highly exothermic, that release large amount of the energy that can do any accident. So to avoid the accident, what we do? We don't add the H2SO4 in the water, we add slowly H2SO4 in the water. Okay, so it is very stronger acid. K1 value is very high as compared to the K2. It is stronger dehydrating agent also. Okay, you have must seen many times alcohol, okay, dehydration with the H2S concentrated H2SO4, that give the alkene, or sometime it give the ether at the temperature 140 degrees centigrade. Alcohol with the concentrated H2SO4 give the ether, but at the high temperature like 170 degrees centigrade, alcohol with the concentrated H2SO4 give the alkene, and both the reaction is the dehydration. Okay, so H2SO4 is the dehydrating agent. If any biomolecule like carbohydrate, react with the concentrated H2SO4, then that H2SO4 remove all the water and leave the carbon solid charcoal left. So that's why this reaction is called the Charing reaction. Okay, next, concentrated H2SO4 is the stronger oxidizing agent. Dilute is not the oxidizing agent, but concentrated H2SO4 is the stronger oxidizing agent. Okay, what it do? It convert the copper into the copper sulfate, sulfur into the sulfur dioxide, and carbon in the CO2. Okay, these are the oxidizing reactions. Okay, the next, use of the H2SO4. Use H2SO4 used to form the fertilizers like ammonium sulfate, NH4 twice SO4. It is the one of the fertilizer. It is used in the lab day to day. What are the common reagent? What is the most common reagent available in the lab? Then H2SO4 easily available, HCl easily available, nitric acid HNO3 is easily available. In the base, NaOH, KOH, CaOH whole twice, these are easily available. Other reagent, potassium permanganate and potassium dichromate. These are the common reagent, but which is the most common reagent? Then most common reagent is the H2SO4. That's why it is called the king of the chemical, and it is the also used in the industry. It is the most common acid, so it is also used in the industry for proceeding different reactions. Okay.